They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I really can't refute this. It's a meme that went viral on the internet attempting to describe what's going on at Netflix, and I would say it's also what's going on at Amazon. And the reason it's even more funny is that this is what the academics, the most intelligent people of our society, are thinking when they look at chess. They also say it's like, why does white got to move first? Oh, racismus. Racism. We need to change chess. I'm not kidding. Actual conversation. And there was a chess channel which got banned by YouTube because the algorithm detected words like white and attack, right? Because you're playing chess and it's like... so, got removed. The absolute state of 2021, because it was last year. I don't make mistakes. I know what year is this. All right, so why is this a problem? Okay, because this is exactly how every single TV show came out lately, both on Netflix and Amazon. And what they do is they latch on to an IP that's famous. In this analogy, it would be chess. Everyone knows what chess is, right? Everyone played chess when they were a kid. Everyone loves chess. So what they do is like, oh, let's bring chess back. Let's bring chess back to the public. It reminds them of their childhood. But we can't just bring chess back, can we? No. It has to be current here. We gotta make chess political. Because otherwise, the journalists get upset. So we're going to diversify chess. Now, by diversifying chess, notice that it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, you can't play chess like this. Honestly, like, if you were to play a game of chess with these pieces, you wouldn't know. Like, for example, is this the horse of player 1 or is this the horse of player 2? Like, the moment you start moving the pieces around the board, it would completely go against what chess is supposed to be. It would make you impossible to play it. Because they don't care about the thing that makes chess, which is to be playable, right? And when you look at various TV shows, like He-Man, like female Ghostbusters, like probably it's going to be Lord of the Rings, but it's not out yet, so it's not fair to talk about it. But like, they don't care about the core of the IP, like what made the TV show great. Instead of getting people and putting money into investigating, like, what is the soul of Game of Thrones? What is the soul of Lord of the Rings? Like, what actually got people to like the original story? And how can we be true to that vision? Instead of doing that, they do the color palette. Now, notice how the color palette doesn't really add anything. Like, for example, I said this before with Lord of the Rings. Let's say you really want to make it current here, and you're like, okay, look, we gotta have some diversity in it, because like it's expected of us, the journalists want it. Let's have some diversity in Lord of the Rings. Now there's two ways you can do it. The lazy, uninspired way, which is Amazon is going with, like let's just color swap, just do some reskinning of the assets and then make some elves of color and dwarves of color and call it a day. Or you could actually do something interesting, like you could actually have the fellowship or whatever, like go all the way into the desert, because Tolkien actually has a place within Middle Earth where there are tribes of people that are from a different ethnicity, and you can have an adventure there, and it would be so cool because you can explore and you can see a different group of cultures and a different group of people, and that would be very interesting. Or how about you actually get something new? I said this in a previous video. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but just in case you're watching this the first time, imagine a Conan the Barbarian story that takes place in folklore Africa. So you have like all the African gods, and you have like all the rich history there, and all of the fantasy. I mean, my God, that would sell. If Black Panther sold so well, if you did something like this, if you actually inspired yourself from the folklore and the history of Africa, and you actually made a TV show like that, it doesn't need to have a single white person. Not a single one. And it would sell. You would have a lot of people wanting to see that. I would probably want to see that. But no, instead what they're doing is that they're lazy. They can't create. And it's exactly what they're being spamming with. The quote from Tolkien saying that evil cannot create, it can just corrupt. And it's being spammed in multiple languages now. Because that's what they're doing. They're taking something, and it's kind of like a bait and switch. It's like, hey, you're getting chess, but instead you're not getting chess. Like, you can't play it. It's unplayable. You're not going to be able to tell whose pieces belong to whom if you actually play a game like this. And not to mention, the journalist still won't be happy. Because like you will find a journalist that still goes like, man, why is the white peon blocking the black bishop? This is a representation of the historical systemic systematism of society. And you know that the journalists also complain, like, if someone were to come and they would say, look, I can't play this game. Like, it's unplayable. There's no way this game is chess. Like, we can't do anything with it. Oh, it's because you're a racist. It's because you're a racist. Because there's no other reason to complain. This game is great. Look how cool it is. Look how beautiful the two queens are. Look how beautiful they are. Don't they look beautiful together? Why are you such a racist pig? I beg it. If you want to stick it to the bigots, go buy the game. And it doesn't work, right? And what ends up happening, like, this is the worst part. The worst part is that everyone who likes chess is going to be put off. They're going to see this, and this is what's going to be in their mind that chess is, and they're never going to buy chess products in the future. They're never going to tune in to watch tournaments. They're never going to consider buying a chessboard for their kids, just like with Star Wars. Like with Star Wars, you go into a Toys R Us and you see the toys on the shelves not selling. And not only that, like, people are so skeptical nowadays. Like, if you have another Star Wars product, if another movie comes out, people are very skeptical to even go to see it. Disney knows about it, which is why they don't release another movie. They're waiting for the horror to pass, for people to forget about the Eldritch Abomination that the last Star Wars movie was, so that then they can consider and seeing it whatever they put out the new movie. I mean, Disney had so many other spin-offs planned, and now all of them are canceled because of the Last Jedi effect. Corporations are starting to catch on, and they realize that, oh my god, like, we're ruining an IP. So now, it's almost like they're buying IP after IP to ruin them. They ruined Terminator. It's one of my favorite franchises, Terminator. And they could have done so much cool stuff with it. I mean, with the Terminator, okay, you want a strong woman in the Terminator. Like, you want feminismus. Do you remember Sarah Connor, the Chronicles, where you actually had, like, some robots that went rogue? I don't know if you guys remember that TV show, but the leader of those robots was a woman, and she was like a T-1000 model. Made perfect sense. Made 100% sense. Like, no one would complain about that, because it's like, okay, she's a robot. Yeah, she's got like all these abilities. But when you go out and you kill John Connor in the beginning, and then you mock him several times with quirky lines, it's like when Sarah Connor went, it's like, so the machines protect you just because you're like an uterus. You just carry the one. And she's like, no, they protect me because I am the one that's going to lead humanity. And you look at her, and she's like a very small Latinx woman that's now supposed to intimidate men that are 10 times her size and able to hospitalize me with one punch. I mean, all of the immersion, all of the believability goes out the window. And people get put off. There's just one reason. There's many. But unfortunately, there was a time when I was a teenager, and if I would have heard that they're making a BioShock movie, my god, would I have not been hyped. I wouldn't need anything else. I wouldn't even need the trailer. It's like, oh my god, BioShock movie, when is it out? And I would put it in the calendar and I would mark the days. Now I hear Netflix is making a BioShock movie. I'm like, oh my god. It's kind of like Ubol. Like Ubol, if you guys remember him, he used to make all these video games into movies and everyone knew they were bad. Like at first the people were very excited. It's like, oh my god, the Blood Rain movie. But then the movie would come out and everyone would be so disappointed because it would be absolute garbage. And after disappointment and disappointment and disappointment, every time Ubol announced the project, people would be very skeptical and afraid. And they would not even watch. Like, it went to the point where he would announce projects and people wouldn't tune in. And this is pretty much how it's like now with Netflix announcing IPs. The only thing that's good with Netflix is actual diversity. When the South Koreans are making movies. Like, when the South Koreans are making movies, they're great. There's one with zombies now and high school girls, my wife tells me. Like, she watches something like that. I'll probably tune in. Because they actually make good movies. But other than that, yeah, like this meme, 1000% accurate. No wonder it went viral.